This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hello, this is Igoro, host of the Igoro Show, and you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Hey, welcome to the Steve and Crypto Show, presented by thestevestrout.com. I am Steve.
I'm Crypto Zoo. You have reached episode 128.
This is Halloween special part 2.
We're going to keep them coming as long as we keep getting more and more content from our friends and fellow podcasters and people that we know. Then we're going to keep giving you guys some content. So if you want to support the content that we have and support the show and help us keep rolling along, you can head to buymecoffee.com/Steve Crypto. We got a hell of a lot of content. Well, shit, scratch that. You can head over to buymeacoffee.com/Steve Crypto and contribute whatever you like. It basically just helps to keep the show going in every way. We appreciate everybody who has contributed so far. And also, if you want some more bonus content, if you really like the show and you just can't get enough, go to patreon.com/Steve Crypto. Good variety of content over there. You can contribute whatever you like, as low as $1 a month. And there's an assortment of things waiting for you. So go check it out. Also, if you want some merch for your third favorite podcast, go to Etsy/shop/Steve and Crypto merch, or just go type our name in the search column and you'll find us. You'll find a couple shirts, a mug. You'll find a magnet for your fridge. Go check it all out. Get a trucker hat from us. Just contact us directly. The Steve Strout, CryptoZoo88 online.
Or find us at an event, which we will tell you where we're going to be later on in the episode.
That's right. Yeah. But if you can't get to us and you still want to get some merch to support the show, go to Etsy/shop/Steve and Crypto merch. Go get it. And join the Facebook group. Just look us up, and we have a group with over 900 people there waiting to see what you are working on, waiting to see what your friends are working on. We want to check it out. If it's pop culture related, especially spooky and horror related, we're all about it. So throw a little clip of what you're working on in there and join and see what everybody else is working on. Also, you can follow us on social media at Steve Strout, at CryptoZoo88. And we are on Instagram. We're on X. I believe that covers all the social medias.
Yeah, that's the social media is the Steve Strout, CryptoZoo88. There's a lot of places to support us, and you can find all those links in the show notes, of course. So go check that out.
It was still hard to not say Twitter. I don't know. Every other podcaster out there is saying the same shit, but it's like you want to say like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You just riddle like kind of just get them all out at the same time. And now it's like X.
Yeah, it's weird. It feels kind of dirty.
It is kind of weird. Yeah.
You know what's not weird is the Halloween shirt company.
No, they're not weird. They're awesome. You can head over to HalloweenShirtCompany.com and check out everything they have over there to offer. Their style is really like vintage and kind of classic Halloween. They have really cool designs. It's not just shirts that they have to offer, but that's the main thing that they have. But just go check it all out. Go to HalloweenShirtCompany.com and check out everything they have to offer. Tell them Steve and Crypto sent you.
And I believe they have a discount for first-time buyers. So get over there and fill up your cart, get a bunch of shit, and get that discount.
Yeah, they're always changing the discount codes, so can't really tell you what it is right now, but just go and check out what they have to offer.
Do that.
You'll like it.
And what else you'll like is coffee. Coffee has been fueling the Steve and Crypto Show for the last couple months. And I think you had a good jolt from your coffee that we're trying today. I
Yeah.
can feel it. I can feel the energy coming through your microphone and the enthusiasm and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So why don't
think
you
so.
take that energy and tell them about this coffee?
Yeah, I'm getting buzzed off this Expedition Roasters, Frankenstein's Electrified Espresso. That's how you say it. It's espresso. Some people like to say espresso. No.
Like Twitter espresso? Never mind. I'll stop.
All right. Just like every bag, take a sip if you dare. Jolted to life. A storm rages in the coffee verse. A mad scientist's daring experiment is struck by lightning, but the jolt isn't powerful enough. Desperate for energy, he brews electrified beans from a trial run and infuses the unresponsive subject with the intense espresso roast. To his astonishment, the lifeless figure awakens. It's alive! Yet it craves more coffee, just like me.
I don't think you need any more coffee. But maybe we can switch you to one of the other blends and wane you off the hard shit. That is the electrified espresso. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Electrified espresso. It's good, man. It's I just made it as a pour over, which is what I've been doing because I just feel like it's the smoothest cup of brewed coffee. But I don't know if I was supposed to brew this stuff as an espresso.
Yeah.
But it came out to be a pretty good, strong cup of coffee. But it tastes great. It's smooth as hell, but it's got a little punch to it.
It does. It has a punch just as it is, and I'm a cold brew guy, so I'm already thinking if I go and make some of this as cold brew, I'm really going to be wired.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. You're gonna be walking around like Frankenstein's caffeinated
I'll be
monster.
jolted to life.
Jolted to life. I like it. But yeah, Expedition Roasters is a great company, great mom and pop company that we connected with and have been working with to share their awesome blends, especially their Monsterverse blends. All great flavors. Everything we've tried so far has been awesome, and we're going to try more and keep telling you guys about it. So that way, you'll be intrigued to head to expeditionroasters.com and buy up some coffee.
Use the code SteveCrypto at checkout, and we'll save you a couple bucks.
Save you some money and get you some good-ass coffee.
Yeah, we've tried the cinnamon bun. We had the straw bloody shortcake, and a couple other ones now, and they've all been really good.
Yeah, go back last few episodes and hear us talk about them.
Yeah.
So yeah, expeditionroasters.com. Go get on it. So, as you heard at the top of the episode, we are part of the Deluxe Edition Network. That is a collective of independent podcasts, covers a ton of different topics and genres, and of course it includes us, Steven Crypto Show, and this month's podcast of the month are Terror Tuesday and the Graveyard Club, both great shows. It's October, so a lot of the shows on the Deluxe Edition Network are putting out like horror themed, Halloween themed stuff. So go check them out. Go to the deluxeeditionnetwork.com and find a list and links to all the shows and spread the word, and especially spread the word about Steven Crypto Show
Yeah.
because we're your third favorite.
You mentioned spooky content. That's one of the best things about October. Like, not only is it Halloween, but if you're really into Halloween and really into horror movies, you're getting so much content thrown at you in different ways, you know, from TV shows to movies to music. Not everybody enjoys spooky music like I do, but I was going to mention it last time, but I forgot. Just going to say, if anybody's listening and you're into hip hop and you're into like spooky music, there's an album that is about being lost and locked away inside of an asylum, and it is called Lost Lake Estates. Go check it out. You're welcome.
Who's that from?
So it's a combination. It's basically from a record label. So it is two groups getting together to make the album. It's A La Zululu and the Super Famous Funtime Guys. And they put out like 17 tracks, 18 if you get the physical CD. But it's all really good. If you like boom bap hip hop, there's a hell of a lot of that on there. A lot of the beats just make me feel like I'm back in 1995. So,
How old were you in 1995? She's like, I remember back when I was 6.
I was 7. Yeah.
7. That was a good guess.
Yeah.
I didn't even do no math.
Yep.
But
okay,
you know-
back in the 90s then. It has
Okay,
like a
there
90s
you go.
vibe to it, but also the horror vibe. So if you like that like 90s hip hop, then you'll enjoy this one. And again, it's spooky too.
There you go. But you mentioned all the spooky content and stuff coming out this month.
Yeah.
I wish all these people would do this shit all year.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of shows that are like, oh, we're doing a Halloween episode and we're going to talk about this movie because it's October. Like, fucking get on it all year. Don't wait till October.
Yeah.
You got 11 other months to fuck with it. Like,
Yeah, like we said in the last episode, like, I mean, if you're really about this shit, you are into it all year. It doesn't matter. You just watch more in October.
I'm into this Frankenstein's Electrified Espresso from Expedition Roasters. This shit is really good. Mm-hmm. It's making me smile.
And Frankenstein is probably one of your favorite monsters, I would say.
Yeah,
know.
I'd say just looking around.
I mean,
What
I
took
see
you off?
like I don't know what like 30 pieces of Frankenstein merch behind you,
Merch
something like that.
art and
And that's
all
probably a
kinds of
low number too. But yeah.
Maybe not 30, but there's
You-
well, I guess
you might
I
be a
guess if you look
Frankenstein
at-
fan.
Yeah,
That could be a redneck joke like if you have bolts in your neck, you might be a Frankenstein.
might be
Fan.
a Frankenstein. But yeah, so what the hell were we talking about now? We were talking about
Spooky content.
okay, so we're done talking about Deluxe Edition Network. Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on.
But shout out to them.
Shout out to
and go
them.
check out everything over there that people are putting out. Because like we said, like we're putting out spooky stuff, but everybody over there is trying to put out some sort of spooky
They're
content
not
for
trying; they are doing it,
Yes.
and we're proud to promote those guys. So we talk about movies a lot. We talk about occasionally we bring up, like you just mentioned, collectibles and merch and all kinds of stuff. But you've mentioned quite a few times on the show about being a video game player. So I'd like to pose a question. Me not playing video games, what are some of your favorite video games that are horror themed since it's Halloween month? Since everybody jumps on the Halloween bandwagon this time of month, why not everybody jump on the horror video game bandwagon for Halloween too?
And I don't just play these horror video games in October.
You say horror or horror?
Horror video games?
That horror video games.
I don't play these hooer video games, okay? Like, no, I mean,
What are a few?
I play them all year round.
Like
It
over
doesn't matter.
time, not just like the current new hot game. Like what? I know you've played video games most of your life.
Yeah.
There's been a lot. Maybe not a lot, but there's been a handful of horror games over the years on multiple different systems and platforms. So what have been some of your favorites?
Well, I will say at first you asked me for a top 5, and I'm just going to say I couldn't give it to you.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of hard. Like, I would think about one, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then, like, oh, how much do I really play that game? Like, would I consider that a favorite?
But
I don't
mean,
know.
It could have been one that you played a lot when it was new.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't play it anymore, but it still stands out to you as one of your 5 favorites. Mm-hmm. But we don't have to be on the spot, make no lists.
Yeah, I have a list, but it's not a top 5.
And I want to hear my video game list of horror video games.
Pretty short.
I think the last horror video game I played was the NES Friday the 13th.
I knew it.
And that was it. That's all I got.
Okay, so let's start with the most innocent one on the list here. The most family friendly, which would be Luigi's Mansion 3. And I know some of you guys right away are like, what the fuck? Like, why would you mention that one? Well, it is spooky. And not everything in horror has to be flat out gory, even though I do like that. I love Mario, and a lot of gamers do. So the idea of Luigi getting his own game, I thought was really cool to me. I have never played 1 or 2, but I think Luigi's Mansion 2 is on like Nintendo Switch Direct now, which I'm not entirely sure what that is, but I saw a little image about
I
it.
don't know either.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, but I figured you just didn't want to tell me.
Yeah, it's none of your fucking business.
Yeah.
I'll tell you in November.
You would probably enjoy Luigi's Mansion 3 because it's not really hard. It would probably remind you of Ghostbusters in a way, as it does for me, because you're walking around with like a vacuum cleaner and just trying to catch every ghost that you can.
Trying to suck off all the ghosts.
I guess, if that's what you want to call it, sure. But it's a good time. And honestly, I don't get as much time to play like PlayStation or Xbox now as I do with, having kids. I have more time to play the Switch. So it's easier for me to just grab that and give a little bit of time to Luigi and then move on. So yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3, I recommend that one.
What platform is that on? What
That's
system?
on Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I know you said something. You think the second one's on Switch. I don't know.
Well, the second one, I believe they just re-released it, or they're going to, for
Okay.
Nintendo Switch Direct. But again, I'm not real certain on what that is.
Yeah.
But I believe the first one or second one originally came out on the GameCube, maybe. Either that or Nintendo DS, and I didn't have either one. So that's probably why I missed those games.
Right.
I never owned those systems. I always thought the GameCube controller looked really weird.
What? The GameCube. I don't even know what that looks like.
Oh. The
That's all
GameCube was... It was like, well, it was a cube. It was a little,
I'll have to
the
look
little
it up.
purple cube with the handle. And
I'm making a note.
yeah, look up GameCube, and then after that, look up videos of Gmo Ski destroying GameCubes because he'll break one in almost every one of his music videos. It's kind of funny, but anyway, people actually bring them to him at shows as well. Like they'll give it to him as a gift to break on stage.
You should bring them to me to sell. I can make like $25 off each one.
Yeah. So yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3 would be the first one that I'll mention. And from here on out, it's about to get bloody. So I was going to mention a specific game from Resident Evil. Well, I guess I still will. I like the whole series. Number 5 is cool because I think that was the first time you could play with two people.
I remember the first time I didn't have to play with myself anymore. And played with a second person.
Well, as an
That
only
was
child,
pretty cool.
I know what you're getting at, but as an only child, I had to play a lot of video games by myself.
Oh, video games. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Carry on.
yeah. We're talking about video games here. Yeah.
Okay. Go on. I was going to say something and I'll keep it to myself. Something to do with vacuums and ghosts.
You were playing with a vacuum cleaner by yourself?
No, never did that. Have you ever done that?
No.
Okay. That's,
Did you yell at your mom to like stay out when you're cleaning your room?
no.
So yeah, the whole Resident Evil series, I love it. I guess if I had to pick a favorite out of it, I would probably say number 4. But the last game, I think it was the last one, Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil Village, or I think it was the 7th game was Village. Anyway, one of the last ones they put out was in VR. And the game isn't better than number 4, but that VR aspect
The fact
really
that you have like the three-dimensional
just immersed in the world. Yeah,
is probably crazy.
it's pretty cool. So it's like, all right, the story's not better than number 4, but I really, really love this aspect of it.
Now, is Resident Evil what they based that crappy show on? That was on like Netflix or something last year, or was it on HBO?
Yeah. Netflix.
Netflix is
Yeah.
not one of them. That shit sucked. But it was
Yeah.
based on the game, supposedly, right?
Yes. Was it accurate?
Yeah.
Yes and no. I didn't even watch the whole thing. Couldn't stick with it.
I forced myself, and I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
The game's better, so obviously the game's better.
Games are better. The movies are cool.
Did you? You said you were playing the VR version of
Yeah.
the game. Was it like cool and shit jumping? It's just mostly like zombies, like mutants, right?
Yeah. So it's like you'll never really be attacked by a horde of zombies at one time. It's usually like 3 to 5 maybe at once, and then you'll end up coming across like mutated people and kind of zombies with some unusual effects, different from the rest of them or whatever. One will have some weird tentacles coming out of its side or something like that.
So they're like mutants and zombies.
Yeah, I mean, they don't even really call them zombies. They're just infected.
Okay.
But, I mean, if you watch the movie, at least, like, there are big hordes of them. So, like, they're zombie hordes.
Yeah.
But a few of them are different.
So it's just weird, fucked up, mutated things that you don't want
Yeah.
coming at you.
Yeah, you don't want the T virus getting a hold of you.
So how do you, what, is there like different weapons and stuff you could gain through the game to use to fight them and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's mostly firearms.
Yeah.
And then you have a knife, but those are the main things you use. Occasionally, they'll let you use the environment to, like, kick a zombie through a window or something like that.
Nice.
Or use your, like, if you're playing with a partner in the 5th game, I believe you could sometimes, like, in the middle of battle, hit a button to kind of, like, roll over them, like they'll duck down, you roll over them and kick somebody or whatever. A little bit of teamwork.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you, at any point doing the VR game, did anything jump out and like startle you?
Oh, yeah.
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 That's probably the fun part.
Yeah. And then having to run from them and, not knowing what's going to come around. And, oh, man.
Like, how does VR work? Do you like literally have to like run in place to like?
No, you don't have to run, but usually, I mean, you'll have to stand in one spot or one general area of your wherever you set it up because there's like a little camera thing. You put on the helmet, and then if you want to, you can also put in headphones and be completely immersed. I haven't really played much VR since having kids.
Right.
It's kind of hard to have like a 4-year-old running around and not being able to see what he's doing.
Just put the headset on him and be like, all right.
One day
you're
I
being
will.
naughty. This is gonna get you if you
One day when they're old enough, I
keep
will.
acting up. This is gonna get you.
I'm sure they'll be into it.
Because I've seen the videos of people like doing VR and like running into walls or like hitting somebody by accident.
Yeah, you don't really have to go anywhere with this. This is PlayStation VR that I'm using. But yeah, you just put on the helmet. Headphones are optional. And I mean, it's actually a cool way to watch movies, too. I've only done it one time. But there's
what kind of movie?
I'm getting to it. There's a movie that pretty much feels like you're in a video game. God, what is it called? It's somebody's name. Shit. It's like it's a like a point of view shot film the whole time. And you're basically just running around. You can see like the gun in your hand, and it's really cool. But I thought like, I wonder how that would be with the VR. And I was able to just put that on and just like lay and watch the screen up on the ceiling, basically.
See, I thought you were gonna say porno, but
I know what you were gonna get
too.
to. Yeah,
that's cool too, I guess. So, what's your favorite part of the Resident Evil game? Because you have a tattoo, right?
yeah. I got Umbrella Corps in my hand.
What's your favorite aspect of those games? Like obviously, there's something about it that you just love because you have a tattoo.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though when you ask that.
You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I
just like it. Okay, that's enough. Is that good enough? I get it. There's shit that like people could say like, oh, what do you love Svengoolie so much?
Yeah.
And it's like it just entertains me. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, is that enough?
Zombies, creatures,
Speaking of
blood and guts.
Not to veer off this topic too much. I just happened to mention Svengoolie. Hopefully, the people are listening know to come back later this month because Svengoolie himself will be appearing on one of the Halloween episodes. So it's a little tip, I don't know what to call it.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Exactly. Now you got a reason to come back. Besides us, even more reason. 'Cause
Yeah.
you got a fucking legend coming on. So, Resident Evil.
Yep. Okay, so we're on the VR thing. We were kind of just talking about that a little bit. So I'll mention my current favorite game for PlayStation VR. Horror games are killing it in VR. Pun intended.
I'll bet.
Really, like there are a lot of games. Like VR is not it's not super popular, to be honest. Like, there are a lot of people that don't even bother with that.
It's still fairly new.
Yeah, sort of, yeah. I mean, there's different versions. Like, people aren't really into the whole PSVR thing anymore. But Oculus seems to be one that people use, and then there's probably some other new one that I don't even know about. But anyway, PlayStation VR is what I have. So, there's a game on there called Until Dawn: Rush of Blood, which you would probably get a kick out of. You're in a roller coaster. You have two guns, and depending on the level you pick, there are zombies coming at you, ghosts and weird demons and clowns with chainsaws and all kinds of different shit. And so, like, one level is sort of a carnival, another one is like a meat shack or something like that. And so you literally have to duck down or like move to the left or the right to dodge like saws that are coming at you and different things, because the roller coaster will be moving, and that's what you got to look out for, is just shit that's coming at you while it's moving. And then it'll stop, and all of a sudden zombies are coming at you and you got to shoot them, and then the coaster keeps on moving again.
Right.
But yeah, it's cool, like how you literally have to duck down while playing to avoid getting cut in half.
Do you, like, if you do get cut by it, do you, like, feel anything?
I think
jolt you or something?
No. I think the controllers might vibrate a little bit or something like that, or like the screen will kind of get a little bloody. But
electrocute you.
It's pretty fun, man.
Yeah.
I had my friend play it years ago, and he damn near pissed himself just screaming, you know, like he was really getting freaked out quite often.
That's funny.
It's got me too. Like it'll surprise you. And then you're paying attention to the enemies on your left and not noticing there's somebody coming up behind you. You got to look in all directions, and yeah,
It's crazy.
It's really neat. So that's a really fun one.
I feel like I would get motion sickness.
It can be a little much, but I mean, you don't really sit and play VR for hours on end.
Right.
You know, you might play it for like a half hour or something, put it down, come back to it.
Right.
You're like, it doesn't hurt my eyes, but sometimes you just need a break from it.
Right. See, like, I can't even do like a 3D movie because it bothers my eyes.
Yeah.
So I feel like VR might be kind of hard.
Yeah. I've noticed people that wear glasses kind of have trouble with 3D, and I imagine VR would probably be about the same for you. But yeah, so check out horror VR games. They're really, really fun. If spooky is your thing and you're a gamer, go look for Until Dawn, and then there's probably plenty of other titles out there you could look into. Let me see. Evil Dead the game. Sadly, they are not putting out any more content for it. They announced that they're pretty much done. So the game is what it is.
And what system was that on?
You can play it on Xbox and PlayStation. They were going to put it out for the Switch, but I believe that was canceled.
Right. What did you play it on?
I played it on PlayStation, and I'd probably buy it again for the Switch just to be able to play it more.
Right.
But I mean, I love the franchise, so I enjoyed the game. This is what, the third Evil Dead game, fourth, something like
that
that.
many?
Yeah, they made two that I recall back on PlayStation 2, I think it was, or maybe even the first PlayStation. Fistful of Boomstick, and then there was one other one. I don't remember the name. Might have just been Evil Dead the game or something, but
I think so. You know, honestly, I think I might, because, you know, I sell shit and I compile stuff, and I think in my storage, in my games, I might have a copy of the PlayStation 2 Evil Dead game.
yeah. Yeah, there was one where you're playing just as Bruce, and then there's another one where you're Bruce, but you have, or Ash, but you have, like a little sidekick, and I don't remember why, but there's like a little dude that follows you around, helps you out with missions.
Well, that's nice of them.
But the new game doesn't give you any helper at all. You can play online, which I don't really do a lot of that. I'm more into the story. And they do have some of that. There are certain missions you can play, like, what was it? You're trying to defeat Henrietta while trying to, like, get the book from her or whatever. But, I mean, it was fun. It's just too bad that they're pretty much pulling the plug on it. That tells you it didn't do very well.
Right.
So,
Well, it's kind of it's not as wide a audience as like Mario or fucking Sonic or something.
yeah.
It's more like a niche kind of thing.
And that's the problem with a lot of the horror games anyway. Like, they'll put them out there, but
I think
no
with
telling how much content you're going to get.
I'm hoping with this current horror uptick, it might help stuff like that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because we're seeing a lot more movies get more mainstream attention. I think it's going to roll over into other forms of media,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to put out games that are attached to big franchises, which you would think would be really successful and popular. Hopefully, this next one I'm going to mention gets to have a little bit more shelf time than Evil Dead is getting, and that is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I have not played the game yet, but I definitely want to.
Have you heard anything about it yet?
Yeah, I've heard it's fun, but I'm skeptical about, like, the shelf life, like I just said, you know.
Yeah.
It's another one that's kind of with Evil Dead. Like, there's a following, but is it as big as some you just mentioned? Hell no.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But if anybody listening has played that Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, chime in and let us know. I want to hear about it myself. But honestly, I'd like to at least see it. Like, probably don't care if I play it or not, but I definitely want to see it in action and see. I mean, I guess I could go on YouTube or something and find a video, but I'd rather hear from one of our friends or listeners or something. Tell us.
I saw a little clip or two, I think, before the game came out or right when it came out, something like that. And it has a similar engine to the next game I was going to mention, Friday the 13th.
Okay.
Which is like, you have up to 4 people, and there's a mission or something that you have to do while also dealing with the villain, and it's just from what I've seen, it's kind of made the same way. I think it might even be the same company behind it. I don't know, but
And these are on most of the main systems.
yeah. Just like Friday the 13th, or just like Texas Chainsaw, Friday the 13th also was on Xbox and PlayStation. They put that one out on the Switch as well.
Friday the 13th?
Yes.
Do you have that?
Not on the Switch. I have it for Xbox, I believe.
And is that a newer or is that a few years?
I want to say last year or the year before. It might even be before that, actually. Yeah, time flies. I think it's a couple years old now. But I believe, just like Evil Dead, I think they're about done with that game too. Right. And the problem with that is, like, you buy these games and then, just because they decide to pull the online play like off of the server or whatever, like, your game is limited at that point. Is what I'm saying. Like, so you pay full price and then you have like half a game.
So by done, you mean like there's not going to be any more updates, or you're not going to be able to play it with other people, and all that.
Yeah.
So it's just a single one player.
If they have that available, that's the thing. There's no story mode in the Friday the 13th game. Luckily, Evil Dead has that.
It sounds like a lot of games don't have like a story mode like that anymore because they want to fuck you. And
there's so much of the online play and trying to get you to do little microtransactions to get extra money out of you.
Yeah, they're just trying to milk it.
Yeah.
Because that's like, see, I stopped playing video games after like a little bit of SNES. and the game still had a story. You could beat the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just sounds like it's like endless until they make it so you can't play it no more.
Yeah, I mean, they would gradually add like more costumes or whatever. Like at one point they added the 8-bit blue Jason Voorhees
Right, from
costume.
the last one I played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like when you go to start the game, of course everybody wants to be Jason, but you don't get that. You start up a game and you have to just wait and see if you're going to be Jason or not. And it's
So
kind
you
of
can potentially be Jason.
you can.
Remember the old NES game? You're not. You just wander around and do things on your mission, and every once in a while he pops up and fucks you up,
Yeah.
or you got like run from him. Or
Oh, he definitely pops up and fucks you up in this game, but it's like a roll of the dice every time. Like you might be a regular person or you might be Jason.
right.
So I don't know. I like the difference in like that game and Evil Dead is Evil Dead at least has the extra missions you can play. You don't have to be online. You can like even now, like if they take the game off the server, which it sounds like they're going to if they haven't done it yet, then at least I can still go in and play those little side missions or whatever.
Right.
So, another game that is kind of like the gameplay is similar to Texas Chainsaw and Friday the 13th and Evil Dead in a way is Dead by Daylight.
Right.
Now, that's one that they've really been expanding on for a long time and still are, actually. They're still adding more and more stuff to it. You basically play as, well, same thing. You might play as a regular citizen or you might play as the monster. And you'll have to like fix something and get this or get that while trying to avoid being killed. And
How did they choose? How did it decide if you're human or a monster?
it's just random. Yeah. And that whole game is online as well. You're
So you
playing
can't
with
just be like, I want to be the fucking monster.
Nope.
Get in there and be the monster.
I wish I could just play against a computer and just go in and be like, I'm going to play as Ghostface and I'm going to do what I want to do.
Right.
So, and I bring that up because you can potentially play as Ghostface. And they've been adding more and more like popular monsters to the game.
Okay.
So,
What other monsters are in it?
Ghostface,
Have you
I think Leatherface was one of them. Freddy, I believe. Michael Myers.
Did they ever make a Halloween game?
Funny you say that. There's some talk about it right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like loose talk about a new Halloween series and
Halloween, the game.
And a game.
Evil dies tonight.
Evil dies whenever you beat the game.
Yeah. And turn this motherfucking PlayStation off.
And before we get away from the game talk, I got a couple more to mention. So,
Honorable mention time.
yeah, only a couple more, but Alien versus Predator, that's a fun one.
Is that the E.T. Michael Jackson game? Remember the memes going around back in the days? Like Alien versus Predator, and there's like that picture of E.T. and Michael Jackson, that famous picture.
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, shit. Google it. Anyways, go ahead.
Eddie
Alien
Torres
versus
and Michael
Predator.
Jackson. So the game that I have was for Xbox One. I think I still have it because I think you can even play it on. Oh, I'm sorry, Xbox One, Xbox 360. I was getting mixed up, but I think you can still play the 360 game on the Xbox One. Anyway, Alien versus Predator. You have the option of playing as a Marine or as an alien or as the Predator. And each, I don't want to say mission, but like each choice that you take is not the longest. I mean, you could probably beat the whole thing in a couple hours, really. Steve's showing me the Alien versus Predator image. So,
Sorry. Where were you? No.
owie.
You don't even remember where you're at now.
No, I do. That was just, I didn't expect you to show me that. That was funny. E.T. and Michael Jackson hanging out. All right.
Let's get back to it.
And the last one I got to mention here for video games is a classic from PlayStation 2 called Manhunt, which was from Rockstar Games, the people that made Grand Theft Auto. So back when Grand Theft Auto was kind of like one of the hottest games around to play, it was they kind of set a standard, with like what to expect from Rockstar. So like when a company like that says they have a new game coming out, you're already excited. You're like, well, I love Grand Theft Auto, so I'm probably going to love whatever they're putting out next. And especially when it's horror related, because you were basically like in prisons and different scenarios where you're trying to avoid being killed by people walking around with creepy masks on. Yeah, I played Manhunt a lot. I don't think I ever beat it, but I really had fun with it.
Speaking of creepy masks, I'm surprised they've never made a Purge game.
No,
I
but
feel like that could be a video game.
man, that's almost what Manhunt was.
Right. That's
Other
what made
than
me
like
think of it. It made me
the
think
whole
of
like
Purge.
crime being legal for 24 hours, it wasn't really like that, but that's damn near what it was. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got for games. I know I'm missing some. I've thought of a few that I thought were okay, but maybe weren't the greatest like graphics.
Right.
Like Blade 2, I think was all right, and I played that when it came out, but I think it was just more my excitement for it was just me being into that franchise and wanting more Blade content. And I'm still like that. I'm still waiting for a new movie or a new game or something. I think that character needs to be used a little bit more.
That was a good little list of games. So anybody else, if you missed anything, or if there's anything out there that you like to play, let us know. As always, I always like to take the opportunity to tell you guys to interact. Since you didn't want to make a list for me,
A top 5?
didn't want to make a top 5 or however many lists for me, I got somebody else who did make a list for me. We got our friend TJ Tranchel, the author, who wrote the scariest book set in Utah, according to the New York Times a few years ago. He joined us for a few minutes to give us a list of some of his favorite spooky tales that are perfect for reading through the Halloween season. So why don't we jump right into that now? And you guys have met TJ Tranchel if you've been listening to the show. He's kind of a regular repeat offender, as I like to call them. And let's do it. Let's hear what TJ recommends you read. Hey, Stephen Crypto listeners. It is Halloween month, our favorite month of the year. You know this. And we have a friend here, one of our regular contributors on the show. I guess we could call him a repeat offender. That's what I've been calling people. We have the author TJ Tranchel. He's here to share his 5 scariest tales to read around Halloween. Or any time of year, but especially for Halloween, because it's that time. And a little bonus. So let's just dig right in. What you got for us, TJ?
Oh, I have some good stuff for you, Steve, and the listeners out there. We're going to make this quick. I hope you're ready. To start off with, you always have to go with Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. October is a special month for boys and for everybody. But the way that book starts out, that's how it starts. It's October. Things are going to get weird. It's a classic. Next up, one of my all-time favorite short stories is called No Matter Which Way We Turned by the author Brian Evenson. You can find this story in his book, Song for the Unraveling of the World. It's just a creep fest 100% all the way. Fairly short. If you had a campfire party, you could read this story to your friends and then watch as their faces go white, ready for the holiday. It's a great story. But speaking of Mr. Evenson, I'd like to offer you another rare choice. He got to work with one of our favorites, Rob Zombie, doing the novelization of the Rob Zombie film Lords of Salem. The movie's great. Watch the movie too. But this book gets even deeper into the weird Salem witch trial, devilly religious roots of American horror kind of stuff. So you get the heavy metal artistry of Rob Zombie that we're used to, but with a nice infusion of pure literary skimmers. It's a great time. Next up, something that you might be familiar with, but maybe not. Perhaps, listeners, you've seen or read the comic book The Crow. Did you know that there's an entire series of novels based on The Crow? A lot of different writers got a shot at it and put their own spin on the classic tale of someone coming back from the dead for revenge. But I would like to direct you to the book titled Quoth the Crow. And yes, it's a mix of the Crow mythology and Edgar Allan Poe. The book is written by David Bischoff, and it follows a man whose home is robbed and he is murdered, and the murdering burglars steal his rare Edgar Allan Poe collection and try to sell it. And of course, he's pissed and comes back from the grave to wreak his holy vengeance upon those who took his most precious items. And now another movie offering, fans. Maybe you've seen Megan. Maybe you've seen The Nun 2, written by up-and-coming awesome screenwriter Akilah Cooper. A few years ago, she worked with another friend named Seth Sherwood, and they co-wrote a film called Hellfest. Hellfest is fantastic. It's a modern slasher set at a haunted amusement park, right? There's all the good haunted house stuff. There's party stuff. Tony Todd from Candyman is in it, and it's just a fun film. You don't know the motivation of the slasher or the identity of the slasher, but what really makes it different is the crop of kids, teenage cannon fodder, like in a classic slasher. We actually like them. We're not just sitting around waiting for them all to die. We actually like these people. And so it's a little different in that regard. That's the 5. But I've got something else for you, people. You may have been paying attention, and this summer there was a writer's strike in Hollywood. So that affected a lot of people that we know and love, including Mr. Sherwood from having written Hellfest. He spent his strike putting together something just for you burgeoning screenwriters, a nonfiction book with worksheets and all kinds of stuff called How to Write a Scary Movie. I bought mine right away. I'm going to do it. I'm going to write a freaking scary movie using Seth's sort of textbook, but fun with a lot of illustrations handbook, and we're going to make it happen. You can find that on the Amazon, Seth Sherwood, How to Write a Scary Movie. It's a lot of fun. Even if you don't want to write a scary movie, it's still fun to go through those steps and maybe use it to figure out how other writers are writing their screenplays. So there you go. 5 and a bonus. You're welcome.
I like the bonus. So people should get that, read it, write a scary movie, make it a hit, and then come on the Steve and Crypto show in a couple of years after the movie's made, and we'll talk about it.
Exactly.
That's what you're going to do, right?
That's the idea. I mean, I'll come anyway.
Yeah, of course. You'll be here. You know, I didn't know about the Crow books.
Oh, they're so much fun. Like, some of them are better than others. The guy who wrote Dark Harvest, which is another Halloween book, wrote one. Poppy Z. Bright, who wrote the vampire book Lost Souls, wrote one. And what's fun is they're all set in like the different geographic areas where the writers are from. So the one I talked about, Quoth the Crow, is set in Baltimore, and Bright's is set in New Orleans. There's one set in Minneapolis. There's one in India, and there's one that is co-set in New York City and Hell, which is a lot of fun.
Well, since we're talking about book settings, a couple years ago, which we've documented here, you released a book that was considered the scariest set in Utah by the New York Times.
Oh, man.
You have some exciting news about that book and the sequels to it.
I sure do. So, friends and listeners, I am releasing a hardcover limited edition book called The Black Hawk Cycle. It includes 3 previously published books, Cry Down Dark, Tell No Man, and The Lamentations of Black Hawk. It also includes 3 previously published short stories that are all set in the same place, and an unpublished novella, and an unpublished short story. So that sort of completes the whole cycle. It's going to be massive. It's about 600 pages. We're going to get great cover art. Every order is going to come not just with the book, but with some fun swag. I got some postcards, some stickers, some other delightful treats that I'm going to throw into the box. But the catch is, it's limited. I'm only doing 113 copies, but there are still at this point plenty to order. But don't wait, because you never know. I could go on a run and they might get picked up quickly. So don't wait.
How will people be able to get a hold of it?
Oh, that is a fantastic question. You can find the pre-order link for that and straight up order links for the other books on their own at www.tjtranchel.net. And they're all there. You'll be able to find updates on the progress of the new book and things like that as well.
All right. Well, thank you for the list. It's a good start for people that are already reading horror or want to jump in, especially this time of year. Is there anything else exciting happening or anything else you want to plug before we let you get back to your writing your scary movie for next year?
Halloween is my birthday, people. Eat a lot of candy, party hard, buy my books.
I was going to say send gifts, but buying the books would be better.
Hey, when you buy a book, it's a gift for you and a gift for me.
There you go. TJ, welcome back, and we'll see you again soon, I hope.
Absolutely.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Woo!
All right, we are back. Thank you, TJ. As always, you're always welcome on the show anytime you want to come on and share anything or work on anything. You guys should really go help them get that book made, because the novels are great, but if you could get all 3 of them and the extra stuff collected in a nice hardbound issue, it'd be pretty cool. And you get it and he'll sign it for you and all that great stuff.
I think at this point he's been on the show more than any other guest. So
he's up there. Him.
Yeah.
Addison Binnick's been on a few times. Those are the 2 main conspirators.
Consider them honorary co-hosts.
Yeah, we should make like a special T-shirt for the repeat offender, Stephen Crypto repeat offender, and like send them to people that have been on multiple times. That would be kind of cool. Maybe I'll try to design something.
We could play on the whole SNL 5 Timers Club thing once we get to that point. Once TJ's been on 5 times, we send him a shirt.
I think this might be 4.
Yeah.
So he's TJ Tranchel. If you're listening, which I'm sure you are, you're on your way to a T-shirt, pal.
We'll send you a punch card. You already got a few punches in.
There you go. Make punch cards.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Vincent Price calling you from beyond the grave, and you're listening to the Stephen Crypto Show, part of the Deluxe Edition Network. Tell me something, listeners. Do you enjoy murder and mayhem and things that go bump in the night? Then tune in every Thursday to Quad Pro Quo. October is Stephen King month, and they will be covering all matters of creatures that haunt your dreams. Find them wherever you podcast. Until then, sweet dreams.
Well, this time of year, we up our spooky watching game.
Our horror viewings.
Horror and less horror. So, I've been kind of starting the month off kind of slow with a little lighter viewing. I haven't dove into anything too crazy yet. Since last time, you'd like me to share what I've watched since last time?
Yeah.
I'm not going to get too deep into them. I'm just going to run through them. And of course, I'll share these again on Instagram, and I'll probably make some little TikToks and add some cool music to them and run them. So, I watched the Addams Family Halloween special from the 70s. I think it was like 77. And wasn't very good. It was funny. There's silly jokes and stuff in there, but it wasn't amazing. It was just weird watching that original cast in color. It kind of threw me a little bit, but it was cool. I'm glad I watched it. It was fun, but it wasn't really good. So I watched that.
Would it have been better if they kept it in black and white?
I don't know. It would have been better if it was better.
Just better story.
Yeah, it was like a made-for-TV movie.
Okay.
And next thing I watched, which I had been waiting to watch again, I went and watched it in the theater. And I watched it. It just came out on Disney Plus. Was
Backdoor Sluts 9.
They don't have that in Disney yet. That comes out in November. Haunted Mansion with Danny DeVito and all those other people.
Yeah.
Ahsoka and some other folks. I watched that. I think did you watch that yet?
Yep.
Did you guys did? What did you think of it?
It was pretty cool. It
Yeah,
was fun.
pretty
I
cool.
like it.
That's our review. It was pretty cool, guys.
Yeah.
We like it.
Yeah.
We like. No, it was good. It was hilarious. If you dug the first one, you'll. If you dug the Eddie Murphy one, you'll probably dig this, and it looks better. I was kind of worried that we're gonna have to deal with quite a bit of what's his face there, Jared Leto,
Oh, that's right.
but we didn't really have to deal with him too much,
No.
so that was good. I was worried about that, but 'cause I'm not a fan of his.
Nah.
But
Me neither.
anyways, it was good, man. If you have Disney Plus and haven't watched it yet, check it out. It's
I like that they kind of dove into why Jamie Lee Curtis's character
Madame
is
Leota, yeah,
why
in the
she's
ball.
in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that
I
was
don't want
cool.
to say too much, but just
Yeah.
the reason behind that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Definitely, maybe we could make a Patreon about it and spoil it.
We'll see. But for now, go to
A
Patreon,
special-
check out what we have
special-
available.
Special Halloween.
Because we
Patreon.
spoiled some other movies over there.
Yeah, we like doing.
Don't make us do it. We'll spoil another one.
That. We like ruining shit for you.
We'll do it.
So yeah, check that out. I watched an indie film called Natty Knox.
I feel like I've heard of that.
Knocks. Well, you follow like Danielle Harris. She's probably
Yeah,
posted about it.
that's it.
She's in it, and also Bill Moseley and Robert Englund's in it too.
Ooh,
So
okay.
there's like horror royalty in it, and
Well, I've met two of those people.
and I watched it, and it was pretty good. It was a decent movie. It tried. It had heart. You know what I
Cool.
mean? It wasn't just like we got this budget and a small budget, and let's just pump something out to try to make the money back. It was like they put effort into it.
The budget wasn't just spent on getting those three people in the movie. That's what you're
I
saying.
mean, probably, but
but they had a
it
little
was-
bit more
yeah.
to kind of make
Yeah,
the movie decent at least.
no, we're talking about ones with low budgets that put something out that was off the wall and crazy. Was this movie called Blood Car? I had never heard of it. It's probably like a 15-year-old movie, but man, this movie is fucking crazy. It like starts right from the beginning. It just starts like the fucking dude. He's vegan and he's trying to invent a car that runs on like fucking wheatgrass or something. And in doing it, he accidentally cuts his finger and blood goes into his machine and it runs. So it turns out it runs on human blood.
Oh,
So yes, it has a thing in his trunk and he has to throw people in there. And
does it
run his
have to
car.
be human blood?
Yeah.
Or did he like try experimenting? Like, let me put some blood from something else in there. and
It
see
was
if
human blood.
Okay.
Yeah, but it just starts off like he goes to his little like farm stand, like right at the beginning. He goes. I don't want to ruin it. I want people to watch it. It's
Yeah.
funny, but I want to tell you this scene. He goes to this little farm stand to buy wheatgrass from the girl who's actually the girl from remember My Girl with Macaulay Culkin.
Mm-hmm.
That girl, grown up, and she has a crush on him, but he don't give her the time of day. Like he shows up to buy the stuff from her. And she's sitting there drawing a picture of her fucking blowing him. And like like captioned it. It's like, your cum tastes like tofu. And like, it's just because she's like a hippie too. And it's
Yeah.
just so, like, it just set the tone for just a fucked up, goofy, funny movie. Like, that was like right at the beginning. It was a good drawing too. But I would just laugh through the whole thing, but it's gory enough that it's perfect for Halloween.
I love a good horror comedy.
Don't watch it with the kids, but watch it. Like
Okay.
I think you'll appreciate it. I hope you
Okay.
appreciate it. If you don't, there's something wrong with you.
I might look for it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's called Blood Car.
Okay.
It's like the title tells you the whole story. I was sent a screener for a movie called Pumpkin Man from some filmmakers down in Florida, and they created a character that they accidentally summoned, and it came back. Character that was killed back in the day by witches or whatever, and they summoned it and came back and just started fucking people up. And it was a cool jack-o'-lantern head monster. It looked really cool. Look up Pumpkin Man film on like Instagram, and you'll see pictures of the monster and stuff. It's pretty cool. You can get the movie through ScreamTeamReleasing.com. I believe it's available on like Blu-ray and DVD and stuff on there. So I watched that. That was good. That's something I might post a little review about on thestevestrout.com, which I did post some words about a couple other movies I watched recently over there. And so if you want to look, go look. And then last night I watched R.L. Stein's Zombie Town, which I believe you also watched.
I tried.
I know. I heard your ass fell asleep.
Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier, and Sarah was like, "Yeah, we started it," but Caleb fell asleep.
Yeah.
Like, I figured. But so we won't talk that much about it. Maybe we'll do a Haunted Mansion Zombie Town Patreon spoiler talk. But how far did you get into it? What's the last scene you remember?
I was just thinking about it. I want to say 30 to 60 minutes in. I don't know.
So you got halfway through it.
I mean, it wasn't even 10
Maybe.
o'clock yet, and I was getting tired, so.
Did people start turning into zombies at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was goofy, kind of campy.
I remember one of them. Sorry, it's a slight spoiler, but I think the last thing I remember was somebody turning like someone's dad, I think who was a cop, into a zombie, or like
Yeah.
I think it was a police officer,
Yeah.
into a zombie, and they did that by just like grabbing them and kind of like staring into their eyes, or like
Yeah, because they're
kind of like
they're
blowing
less like,
air into them.
They're
They didn't
less
bite them.
like they're less like Living Dead zombies. They're more like under a cursed
Yeah, like
trance
a
type
spell
thing.
almost.
Like some like ancient Egyptian power. Like apparently the story was Edison found this power in some movies or something, or he created them and he tried to hide them away, and this filmmaker got a hold of them and made the movies and kind of controlled people and turned them into zombies, and then he trapped them away, and then he was gonna play the movie again and turn the whole town into zombies because I guess they annoyed him or whatever, and then he changed his mind about it, and then he had to figure out, the kid that worked in the theater where he was going to screen the movie wanted to impress a girl, blah, 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 blah. But anyways, there were zombies, and then they had to find a way to stop them. It was a family movie. You could watch it. You could watch it with your 8-year-old.
Yeah.
As long as he's not a fucking puss. But sorry, I'm just kidding. No, it was fun, man. We watched it last night, and I dug it. I didn't hate it. I seen a couple people be like, "Oh, it's corny." It's like, well, you're fucking 50 years old, and
And think about this, like, when did people my age get into R.L. Stein? When we were
kids.
7 years old,
That's why
6-7 years old.
That's
what this is mostly for.
That's what bugged me about the whole Monsters thing. You know what I mean? Like, you were young when you watched it, and it was a fun, family, goofy show.
Yeah.
And, like, what the fuck did you expect when the movie? Like, I didn't want to go there again.
Nothing from R.L. Stein, and I'm not saying this in a bad way. Nothing from R.L. Stein is like considered gory, blood and guts. I
No,
mean,
he
it's
just has-
spooky and it's fun. That Goosebumps were my entry into
A lot
horror,
of people's,
really.
A lot of people's.
Like,
He
I was a
just-
major bookworm up until about 7th or 8th grade, and
When
that
it-
was my number one thing that I read.
You know, it's crazy when the Goosebumps book came out, I was a little old for him.
Yeah.
So it was like I didn't really get into them that much. But yeah, they were meant for, 10, 12-year-old kids.
Yeah.
That you're not gonna fucking have them watch a gory fucking titty-filled movie. You're gonna show them something creepy, something
Yeah.
spooky to kind of open that door for them.
And then you'd be sitting in like 6th grade, math class or whatever, and they'll tell you can take a break after you finish your paper, and you're reading the Attack of the Lawn Gnomes. You're like, there's no boobs in here.
Yeah, right? Like, what the hell? That's what this movie is about. It's about just...
There's no boobs in it.
No, it's about a fucking teenagers, like, adolescents trying to impress each other because
Yeah.
they're at that age, and it turns into a fucking mess, and they got to solve it.
Yep.
So,
But it's fun. It's just kind of fun, light,
it's fine. It's not...
light horror.
Yeah, exactly. So I know you already watched. You'll probably finish Zombie Town.
Yeah.
Assuming?
Yeah, we'll finish
you
Zombie Town.
You did watch Haunted Mansion.
I watched The Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
If you watch
Assume-
past the credits, you'll see a little clip for the Haunted Rumham coming soon.
Assume you started Chucky.
Yeah, we watched the first episode of the new season.
I haven't finished 2 yet. I'm still on season 2.
Oh man, we watched season 2 again just before this, and just like Christina Elise and Fiona Dorff told everybody at Crypticon, it's bonkers. That last season was very wild.
Yep.
But anyway, season 3 is out now. You can watch the first episode on Peacock, and next episode should be out on Thursday, I believe. So something else I forgot to mention last time that we watched was Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And we've been waiting. Like, I'll check every now and then. Not that I've been excited to watch, but I'll look like, all right, let me see if I can watch that for free yet. And they kept wanting $6 from you or whatever. And then finally it showed up for free on Peacock, and we watched it just for the hell of it.
They should have sent you $6.
Yeah,
Just $6. Watch this.
it was rough. I will say I'm a little bit more excited to see the next one, just because I read that they're going to put more money into the actual creatures and making them look good,
Better, yeah.
making them look better, not just like some dude walking around
Yeah,
with a
and it was
mask on
supposed
and
to be
his hands showing.
He was supposed to be like the bear grows up, but
Yeah.
like it was clearly a dude.
I want them
with
to
a-
look more ferocious and, not like a guy in a costume walking around. And I mean, I said it before. I thought it'd be cool if they actually talked, like
they
just
could've-
to hear like Pooh, like, "Oh, you got blood in my honey."
They could have acted it differently. Well, yeah, but that Pooh is like the Disney Pooh, and and you can't really fuck with Disney.
Yeah,
So, but I think they could have played into maybe Pooh being more of a without talking. And you said he just kind of lumbered around.
yeah.
They-
They didn't talk.
they sh-
At the end, I think Pooh did talk, and he said something. I don't want to spoil it for you if you're.
What did he say? I don't remember. Just spoil it. Give the
You
plot.
left.
Oh yeah, they should have made him as like a. Like, did you ever see Sling Blade?
I never watched the whole movie, but I
They
know the
should have
character.
Made him like like he's kind of like a special needs
Yeah.
guy. They should
Yeah.
have made Pooh grow up and have like a mental thing. So he just walked around all weird, but just like a fucking weird, like a big child.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, he did kind of have a mental breakdown in a way due to Christopher Robin leaving and abandoning them. They got into their more animalistic side, and they ended up eating Eeyore. But
I mean, that was a cool twist.
The
I thought
next
that was
one-
funny.
the next one's supposed to have Tigger in it. They already announced that, and they showed a picture of him, and I will say he looks pretty good. And the owl is supposed to be in it too.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Moving on. Moving on to something totally killer is the movie Totally Killer. And that's what it is.
Did you watch
It's
that?
totally killer. Yeah.
All right, that's
Yeah.
the one. That's what I'm watching tonight.
Oh, it's
That's
fun.
the one with the girl from Sabrina.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Well, I forgot. Well, we watched Sabrina, but I forgot. Sabrina got boring.
Really?
At least to us, yeah. We
like-
couldn't get back into it, man. I don't know. We're not talking about Sabrina. We're talking about Totally Killer. It's really fun. It is like Back to the Future with a horror twist because there's time travel involved.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they'll make another one to go along with this film, but they kind of, not that they set it up for that, but they could do it. I think with that subject, they could just go ridiculous if they wanted to, and it'd probably be fun. But yeah, check that out. Totally Killer. It's on Prime, I think, or Peacock or whatever. Look it up.
It's
You'll
on-
find it.
I think it's on Hulu. No. Maybe it's Hulu. Maybe it's
Disney Plus. Yeah,
Prime. It's fucking streaming somewhere.
you'll find it. Just search it.
It's on
You'll get it.
Amazon. I know it's on Amazon.
Okay, so
Yes,
Prime.
I
That's
just
what I said
remembered.
originally.
Yeah.
Prime. Yeah.
You're right.
Okay, and then yeah, we watched Zombie Town. I fell asleep. And one that I watched yesterday morning again, just because I love it, and really it was due to two things. So on our trip to Kent this last weekend to go out to Fall Festicon, I put on the like the Foo Fighters Dave Grohl metal project Dream Widow for you and James to listen to.
Yep.
And then we get to the event, and ironically, there's a guy walking around with a Foo Fighters shirt on. So I thought that was kind of funny.
So it was a sign.
It was
that
a
you
sign.
had to watch.
Yeah, so I woke up Sunday morning. I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch Studio 666 again and be able to play that before everybody else woke up. And yeah, so that was fun.
I need to get my copy of that back. I let somebody borrow it.
Oh,
But I got one of their CDs.
Yeah.
One of their movies.
yeah,
But like, I want my movies. I want to watch the motherfucker.
yeah.
And
And they still want you to pay for that one too. Like if you try to stream it, you can't.
I own.
You can't watch it. I'm just saying, like, even if you're like, well, let me stream it in the meantime until I get it back, you would have to pay for it. Because I looked, instead of like digging out my DVD, I looked around and yeah, they still were trying to get some money for that one. But that's pretty much what I've watched so far. I will say a couple quick mentions. Goosebumps. The new series is coming out to Hulu and Disney Plus this Friday, the 13th. So you can check that out. Looks like they're going to be taking elements from Say Cheese and Die, Cuckoo Clock of Doom, the ventriloquist dummy. I don't remember what that one's called. And I think there's like one or two other things that they're going to be playing on, like some of the old books. Justin Long is in it. Looks like he's going to be a teacher. Looks fun. I like Justin Long in horror. Anytime he gets back into that genre, I'm happy. You know, like, of course, the first Jeepers Creepers is probably when I first saw him do anything. And then Tusk and shit, what else? Barbarian, of course. I mean, he ended up being the monster in that one. But he's just a good actor. So anyway, I already like Goosebumps, and then seeing that a guy like Justin Long, who obviously is a horror fan and a fan of the genre, is in it, it kind of gives you a little bit of hope. So I'm going to be tuning into that. And then a show that I didn't really know anything about and just stumbled upon the photo, the little image that was on Instagram or whatever, is John Carpenter's Suburban Screams. And it is also coming out on Friday the 13th. It's going to be on Peacock. The description for it is basically they're touching on like real events, which is kind of crazy. It says that John Carpenter is returning to the director's chair for his newest series, Suburban Screams. The unscripted series fittingly premieres on Peacock on the Friday the 13th. And it's been a long time since John's done something like that, and I didn't expect it to be real events, so that's kind of different. We'll see how it goes.
Right.
But yeah, that might be fun. I'm sure there's more coming out. I mean, if any of you guys listening know of some cool movies or TV show that we should be checking out, let us know. Couple other quick mentions I wanted to say. Our friends at Barstool Film School, they're another podcast out of Port Townsend. They put out an episode talking about Idle Hands recently. And if any of you grew up watching that movie like I did, you'll probably have fun listening to it. I mean, I watched that movie many, many times in the summer when I was 12 or 13 and had a blast with it. So go check that out for a good laugh. And one of my favorite pods to listen to, They're Coming to Get You. They have some new episodes. They've been talking about horror. They just talked about Saw X, and there's a handful of other episodes they've been covering. So if you like horror and you want to check out something besides us, go listen to them. And if you want a good laugh, Yuki and John's Patreon Buffet. Go check out every episode. Listen to them all. We like those guys very much.
Yeah, we definitely like them.
So go check out everything they have to offer, but I definitely recommend the episode about farts.
You guys heard the promo from last week about Yuki and John's Patreon Buffet.
That's
and the show
right.
And everything. So go track them down.
Yep.
Find them.
And then, if you can't get enough of the fart talk, go to the Harlan Highway with Harlan Williams. There's a new one with him and Nick Swartzen, and it's one of those things where you think they're going to start talking about a subject for a few minutes, and it ends up being an entire episode. So if you want to hear them run down the ABCs of farts for just top-notch content, it's probably getting an award, actually.
I think people just want to hear.
Go over there.
I think people just want to hear about trick-or-treating and carving pumpkins and all that stuff.
All right.
They also want to hear some music. So we have some music. It's like every week we're going to play some spooky or Halloween themed music, something fitting for you guys. This week we have a artist named Nicholas Burgess. He has a new album coming out called Creepy Zeepy, October 13th. So it might come out the day you hear this. It might have come out yesterday. It might come out tomorrow. But it's going to come out around the same time as this episode.
Go look for it.
So go to nicholasburgess.bandcamp.com. Check out the album when it comes out. Download it. And but right now, check out a track off the album. Let's roll.
Little Jason, little Freddy, please don't leave me, I'm not ready. I wanna see you, I wanna see you again. Little Michael, little mommy, little Nosferatu buddy, I wanna be there, wanna be with you again. I think I'm gonna lose my mind tonight, I swear I'm gonna lose my mind. 'Cause it's breaking my heart that they'd ever leave. I miss my little creepies. We can't be apart, and I cannot believe how I miss my little creepies. Little phantom, little jockey, how could I be so unlucky to lose them all? To see I'm walking away. Please, creepies, please don't go. You know that I can't be alone. I'm not ready. I gotta pray because it's breaking my heart that they'd ever leave. I miss my little creepies. We can't be apart, and I cannot believe how I miss my little creepies. It's breaking my heart that they'd ever leave. I miss my little creepies. 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 I miss my creepies. I miss my little creepies. I miss my little creepies. I miss my little creepies. I miss my creepies now. I miss my creepies now. I miss my creepies. 'Cause it's breaking my heart that they'd ever leave. I miss my little creepy. 'cause it's breaking my heart that they'd ever leave. I miss my little creepies. It's breaking my heart that they'd ever leave. I miss my little creepies. I miss my little creepies.
Okay, we are back. And before we go, we want to let you guys know where we're going to be. We have a few appearances coming up. We were just in Kent, Washington at Page Turner Books and a few other stores down there on Meeker Street. Had an event called Fall FestiCon. So if anybody came by and you chatted with us, thank you. Thanks for listening. And tell your friends about the show. But next on the list, you can find us this weekend, Friday the 13th and the 14th, at the Port Townsend Legion Hall. So we're going to be down there for like a witches haunt spectacular type of thing. On Friday the 13th, it's a 21 and up rock show. They have 2 bands playing. They're going to have a costume contest with some prize giveaways. So come hang out, say hi to your third favorite podcast. We're going to be there. Maybe we'll go live, show you guys what we're doing there.
Maybe. We'll see. I'll check my schedule.
And the next day on the 14th, we'll be back there, but the event's going to start at 2 o'clock at Howler Fountain. So if anybody listening actually wants to come and dress up and be a part of the festivities, meet us at the fountain at 2 o'clock. They're going to do like a witch's walk all through the town, and they'll go to the Legion Hall, and then they have another costume contest there. But that day will be all ages, so they're going to have prizes from, for little kids to adults. So everybody's welcome to come dress up.
Hi, I'm Danny Nightmare. Happy Halloween, Stephen Crypto. Right now I'm hanging out with the Bloody Book Club, starring...
Gory B Movie.
And Killer Kayla.
Tell them about your channel.
We read a horror book every month and discuss throughout the month and review at the end.
And where can people watch this?
You can watch us over on the Gory B Movie channel. It's the first Thursday of every month we do a live stream, but you can talk to us about books all month long over on Goodreads.
Good, because I want to talk to you about books right now. What do you plan to read this October for Halloween?
October, we are reading Dark Harvest by
Norman Partridge.
Nice.
See how we finish each other's sentences?
I'm impressed.
It's the adorableness of our book club.
Is that the only books you plan on reading this month?
This month we just do one book a month, but we both have other books that we're working on. I'm reading One Girl in All the World, which is a sequel to In Every Generation, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer book.
Nice.
And I'm finishing the Out of the Silent Planet trilogy by C.S. Lewis.
Ah, awesome. Is there any classics that you would recommend this time of season?
Classics.
Good Halloween books.
The Halloween Tree by Ray Bradbury is a classic that I highly recommend, and it's very short and it's awesome.
That's a good one. I was going to say The Shining, always the scariest, and The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, Legend of Sleepy Hollow is a great one.
Yeah.
Those are great picks.
Those are books I would stick into a freezer, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. There's also some new release ones that I want to read this month just because I want to read All Hallows by Christopher Golden. That one deals with trick-or-treating and kind of the mythology of the season, so that's one that's on my TBR for the month.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies. I planning to do something for Stephen Crypto here, but my voice is pretty much shot from all that AEW shouting I was doing, so I kind of cheated.
Can you lead us out with a chant?
You are awesome.
You are awesome.
You are awesome.
All right. Happy Halloween, guys. Thanks for having us.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Happy Halloween.
Blessed be.
Greetings from Tromaville. I'm Lloyd Kaufman, president of Troma Entertainment and creator of The Toxic Avenger. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. This is the greatest honor that Troma Entertainment has had in its 44 years of history. The movie that scared the bejesus out of me was Bambi. I saw it when I was 5 years old. I was in the fetal position, and when the mother dies in the fire, it was awful. And then Bambi gets mistaken for a donkey, and they ship her down to Tijuana, and I sexually assaulted her, and I apologize. I'm going into rehab and into detoxification. Sorry about the toxie joke. So what if I was wearing a bathrobe? Bambi, she was consensual. I know it. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, no, Toxie, help me. Oh no, if you're going to kill me, at least do it while you're watching Troma now. Oh, no, not there. Oh, that hurts. Oh, watch.troma.com. The first month is free. After that, it's $4.99 a month. Troma now, watch.troma.com.
Later that night, Steve is going to go to the Paulsbo Film Festival, and he's going to be there hanging out and kind of representing our show and checking out the horror block.
That is on Saturday night. I think it's around 8 o'clock
Mm-hmm.
at the Paulsbo Film Festival. Go to paulsbofilmfestival.com and get all the details on that.
I believe there's probably still tickets
It
available
might
for
be,
that.
last I heard, is getting close to
Ooh.
selling out for that block, the horror
Okay.
block, because that's the fucking right one.
The last one was pretty full.
Yeah.
We had a blast. Yep, they're good people. So, Steve's going to Paulsbo.
You're
for the
doing
festival.
something that night too, aren't you?
Yep, I will be heading out to Spanaway that night. So if you're into hip hop and you're in the Spanaway, Tacoma area, come out to Sam's Bar and Grill. I'll be there performing with the Takeover Collective and Cole Z and Buck Wild, a whole bunch of other people. Northwest Hip Hop, come check it out. Then,
More hip hop.
yeah, more hip hop on Halloween night. So out here, Port Hadlock, Washington, on Halloween, we're going to be hanging out with Kung Fu Vampire. So he's a San Jose act. He's going to be coming back after 7 years. The last show was 2016. And this one's going to be a 21 and up show out of the old alcohol plant. For anybody that's concerned about the day of the week, the show's going to be done around 9, just so everybody can get home, get to bed for school and work the next day. But I wanted to make it so that everybody could still come out and enjoy the show. We're going to have a trunk or treat from 3 to 5. Then at 6 o'clock, DJ Robotics is going to start a dance party. That'll probably go till about 7. Then we'll have a costume contest with some prize giveaways. And then 7:30 or so, Doc Vore is going to play. And then Kung Fu Vampire is going to end the night. It's going to be a hell of a show. Come out. I know a lot of you guys that went to the last couple shows might be old enough to actually attend this show now. The last 2 were all ages events, and I mean we've had a handful of people ask when he was coming back, so this is it. Don't miss out. And really, if we keep doing shows like this and make sure they're a good turnout and people support it, then we can continue to have shows of this caliber in Jefferson County.
So with all that being said, that's where we're going to be over the next few weeks. And don't forget, I mentioned that special guest on one of these Halloween episodes, so I won't tell you which one yet. So it's going to be a surprise, so you got to listen to all of them. Listen to them all. But yeah, so keep supporting the show. Leave us a rating and review wherever you listen, wherever possible. Visit Patreon. Little as $1 a month. You can get all the content over there. Patreon.com/SteveCrypto. Go to BuyMeACoffee.com/SteveCrypto. Go get the merch on Etsy.
Go to the Den. Check out all the shows they have to offer.
DeluxeEditionNetwork.com. Go get coffee. Expedition Roasters. Use Steve Crypto at checkout and save a bunch of money.
Hit us up directly for a hat. If you would like to leave a review wherever you are listening, we'd greatly appreciate it. Kind of helps us stand out more in the podcast algorithms.
Yeah, and Halloween Shirt Company. It's another one of our friends that you should check out. HalloweenShirtCompany.com.
Oh, one more quick event. Our local haunted house is back and up and running. So this Friday the 13th, if anybody listening is somewhat local, or if you like to travel just to go to haunted houses, our local haunt is going to be at the Elks Lodge. So we just look that up, Port Townsend Elks Lodge. You'll find it.
Yeah, it's only like hour and a half from
Yeah.
Olympia, Seattle, Tacoma.
I believe it's like $10 to get in.
Yeah, do it up. If you show up and tell them you heard about it on Steve and Crypto, it won't get you any special privileges, but they'll be glad to hear it.
They'll give you a crisp high five.
There you go. Crisp high five. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to let them know. Be like, hey, if somebody mentions us, give them a high five.
They're like, all right, but I'm not going to promise them a crisp one.
So yeah, hopefully you guys are having a good October so far. We're having a little fun here on the show. Hopefully you've been enjoying it, and hopefully you keep enjoying this month with us and beyond on the Stephen Crypto Show.
We'll catch you on part 3, episode 129. Happy Halloween.